What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video here on Knicks Central. And I know that's been a very long time. Honestly, I thought about restarting the channel in terms of talking about games and everything for a while now, but I always felt it's too late in the season. Don't do it. But you know what? I'm just going to go for it. Who the hell cares? It's my channel. I'll do what I want. And honestly, I really just want to start talking about this team again, considering the fact that my other team that I cover sucks, and then the other team that I cover is in the off season. So I figured let's start talking some Knicks hoops again. And I want to start to be more consistent with the channel. And I know every time I say that, it ends up backfiring. But we're going to try it again. We are going to make an effort here because this team right now is exciting to watch, even though last night against OKC, they dropped the game, and I'm pissed about it, to be honest with you. And I'm more pissed about the fact that this game was right in their damn hands and they let it slip away. It's more that than anything else. It's more the fact that the bench just continues to make me want to vomit every single night. But that's besides the point. Before we jump into everything, though, please be sure to leave a like on the video if you enjoy it. Subscribe if you guys are new to the channel, especially if you're Knicks fans, and turn on your notifications so you know when I upload or go live on the channel. Where to start with this game, because it's just so annoying the way this game unfolded. Because let's go quarter by quarter for a second here. The first quarter, I was amazed with the fact that they were actually able to get going early and look solid early. They didn't hit a good amount of threes early, which was a problem, but I was thinking to myself, all right, a solid start considering this team has not been doing great in first quarters. And with all things considered, I thought it was all right. We fast forward to the second quarter, and man, you just see Mikal Bridges get involved, and you're seeing this offense start to explode. It started to get a little sloppy, the game itself, and same thing goes with the third quarter, where the game was a little sloppy, but things still look solid. You started to see Cat get a little more involved offensively, and you started to see OG get a little bit more involved offensively, but again, still not hitting a lot of threes. And they had the lead. They had a sizable lead, and then the fourth quarter came, and that is where they lost this game. And it's pretty simple. The bench did not give you enough, and the starters in crunch time did not get the job done. There is no way around it. I don't understand a couple things, because there was one point I'm looking, and I'm watching Shamet and Payne out there. And if you're going to critique Tibbs for one thing, I can get behind one thing only, because I can't fault him for the bench not producing, because quite frankly, what is he going to do? Put the starters out there for every single minute of the game? He can't do that. He simply cannot do that. But if I'm going to critique one thing, Bridges had to be out there over Payne sooner rather than later, because Payne was not getting anything done. And without Deuce, you need production from him. They got nothing from him. And that's something that concerns me, especially against a better opponent, that Payne was invisible. Because this is a guy that you need to step up when Deuce is out, and he just did not get anything done. I mean, he literally did nothing tonight. Or last night, rather. Sorry. And I apologize, I'm even uploading this the day after, just that I couldn't do it last night, but that's besides the point. But again, you got nothing from Payne. Shamet was okay in his minutes, but still didn't give you enough. You needed more scoring from your bench, and there was nothing, because Deuce wasn't there. And they're going to need help come the trade deadline to get more scoring from their bench. It's just that simple. And Achua, you can't rely on him. Which, that three-point attempt that he had where he hit the side of the backboard just made me laugh. But there was so much that was frustrating about this game. There really was, because they had this one, and the fourth quarter, OG didn't look the same once he hit the deck, which that scares me, and I'm scared that that's going to linger a little bit, and now he's going to miss time. I don't know if that's going to be the case or not. Let's hope not. Hopefully, he's fine to play against Chicago tonight, but that worries me a lot, that he did not look the same after he hit the deck, and he also looked gassed at the end. Hart looked a bit gassed at the end. You didn't get any sort of scoring threat really from Cat either, which he didn't attempt a three all game long. That couldn't be the case, especially when Brunson was not hitting anything at all. Brunson could not buy a three, and I know that he's clearly playing hurt, which, by the way, that does not excuse the fact that late in the game he's running ISOs out there, which what are you doing when you have Bridges on the floor who is cooking all night, when you have Karl Anthony Towns for a reason, which they got because they don't want you having to play hero ball late in the game. It just felt like a game we saw from last year with this game. That's truly what it is. It felt like a game from last year all over again, where they start off solid, and then the second and third quarters you're like, man, this team right now, and it's just explosive basketball. They get a sizable lead, and then come the fourth quarter, you get the bench in for a few minutes, they're not doing anything, and then the starters come back in, and the ones that were in looked gas, and the ones that came back in, Brunson and Bridges, just didn't step up when it mattered, which I don't fault Bridges because he was barely even touching the basketball there at the end, which he needed to be way more involved in that fourth quarter. I just don't understand why he wasn't, because he was hitting almost everything. He needed to get more involved in that fourth quarter, in my opinion, which did not happen, but Brunson instead is running ISOs there, trying to get through double coverage, trying to make passes through double coverage. And then here come the Thunder the other way, which they stepped up when it mattered defensively, and the Knicks just did not. They were not getting stops, and the Thunder were hitting threes in crunch time. The Knicks were not. And this is not a team that you went up against that's one of the better three-point teams in the league. I mean, Aaron Wiggins is hitting every single three-point opportunity that he gets. And you just didn't get any of that from your bench. You didn't get any of that from your starters even. And it's just frustrating. It's more frustrating than anything that they had this game. And I hope Deuce is back next time they play this team, because I think that would have changed things a little bit. But only to an extent, because again, it would have helped the fact that this team was not shooting efficiently from downtown, and it would have helped the fact that Payne, his minutes were just gross to watch. But it's still not enough. This team needs help on the bench and stat. There's only so much Mitchell Robinson's going to do when he comes back. If they don't trade him, that is, because they have to get help in the front court still. They have to get help with scoring depth off the bench. And it feels similar to what it was last year, honestly. It really feels similar to last year, where they need help in the front court to have someone to grab more boards and play more a shutdown type brand of basketball, which they have in Mitchell Robinson, but again, he's not healthy like last year. They need help with scoring depth, whether it's a forward, whether it's a guard. They need help. Nonetheless, I mean, either or. I would take either or. I would prefer maybe a forward that could provide a little bit more scoring, just because once Deuce is healthy, you at least have that help. But nonetheless, it feels similar to last year in that regard, that they need to get, quite frankly, and they need to work out better, but they need their Bojan Bogdanovic and Alec Burks package again, but they need it to actually work out, because this bench, it's just not good enough. It really just isn't good enough at all, and it's going to be interesting to see how they do this come the trade deadline with the tight cap space, but they're going to have to find a way, because right now, this is just not it with this bench. And again, the starters failed in crunch time, so it's hard to just solely blame the bench, but you could also blame them, because if some of these guys were able to sit earlier in the games, or in the game, or multiple games. I mean, you could say multiple games. If these guys were able to sit a little bit, that might help. And the Thunder did that to you on a back-to-back, by the way. I'm curious to see how the Knicks are going to look now on the back-to-back against the Bulls when a lot of these guys logged 40-plus minutes last night. And it just sucks that that's how the win streak ends. It just sucks. Of course, I come back and they lose, right? But it just sucks that that's the way it ends. And it just sucks that they had this game more than anything. They'll rebound. I'm not overly worried. I'm just more annoyed than anything. I'm definitely worried about the bench. I won't sit here and sugarcoat that because at the end of the day, I'm not worried about any of the starters. They'll get it done in crunch time next time, and they need to, quite frankly, for all of us to, of course, believe in them, which they've gave us a reason enough to all season long that I'm not sitting here worried about that. I'm more worried about the bench going forward. And that's something that has to be addressed come the trade deadline. And that goes without saying because it's just hard for these starters when the bench provides nothing. Really is. And the Thunder had a deeper lineup last night, and that prevailed them. It's just that simple. They had Wiggins come in. I mean, they had Mitchell come in, providing quality minutes for them. Williams. That was the difference in the basketball game. It was the bench, and it was the fact that the Knicks starters did not get it done in the fourth quarter. It's just that simple. But that is going to be it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you guys are new to the channel. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Love to hear from you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one.